What's up guys, it's Zoe here. Now, I am not from Texas, but your girl loves her some Texas barbecue. Yeehaw! And through my years of searching far and wide in LA for the best Texas barbecue, I've come to one conclusion: it ain't cheap. But we are going to be finding out why today and trying some of the best Texas barbecue in Los Angeles. Come along with me and let's get started. In 2008, Kevin Bledsoe opened Bludso's Barbecue, his small takeout barbecue stand in Compton, California. It has now grown into a flagship restaurant in Hollywood, and Kevin is a judge on the hit Netflix barbecue competition show, The Great American Barbecue Showdown. Alright guys, let's get this going. I'm so excited to try all of the barbecue today from Bludso's, but before we get into it, I'm going to mention a little bit about Texas barbecue and what it really is. Texas barbecue is not just a meal, it's a culture. It's how you wrap the meat, how you smoke it, the temperature you smoke it, how long you smoke it. It's truly about the craftsmanship and gathering together with friends and family to make it an experience. Alright, so today we're going to be eating fatty brisket, lean brisket, pork baby back ribs, rib tips, cornbread, pickles, french fries, a hot link, you name it, I got it today from Bludso's. Let's get this going. We're going to be starting off with brisket. Oh yeah. This is absolutely insane. First of all, you don't even need barbecue sauce on this, in my opinion. It's so tender, so juicy, so moist. Has so much flavor. It honestly falls apart in your mouth. I absolutely love this brisket. And for anyone that hasn't had brisket before, I prefer the fatty kind of brisket. I think that it's a little bit softer and more juicy than having lean brisket. I also got leaner brisket today, so we're gonna be trying both. So I'll show you guys the main differences. And one of the best indicators to see if it is a good slice of brisket is what's called bark. And it's this layer on the outside of the brisket. It kind of looks like a dark outer layer. It's basically all the seasonings all together once they've been smoked. They create this dark layer on the outside, and it seriously adds so much flavor. This is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna give Bludso's brisket a 9 out of 10 stars. And when you order brisket at a Texas style barbecue restaurant, they're almost always going to give it to you and all of your meat wrapped in foil. It's called the Texas Crutch, and what it does is it holds all the juices and the moisture from the meats inside of the aluminum foil. If you just put it in like a regular container without wrapping it, all that moisture would escape and it wouldn't be as tender as juicy, so that's why they do that. And next in, we're going in for their baby back pork ribs. These ribs are so tender, so juicy. I love the flavor of the meat and also the bark on the outside of it. I would say the bark on this tastes a little bit sweet but tangy, has a little bit of spice. And an indicator of a really good brisket or barbecue rib is what's called the smoke ring. As you can see on the inside of this, right underneath the bark, you see that layer of pink? That's what's known as the smoke ring, and that's how you know it is the most flavorful possible meat. I absolutely love this. I'm not afraid to get messy, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm going to give the pork ribs from Bludso's a 9 out of 10 stars. And before we keep eating meat, let's try some of their sides. You can never go wrong with french fries, and I say you always need ranch with your french fries. Ranch is truly God's gift on this planet. Their fries are crispy. The ranch has buttermilk in it. It tastes so fresh, and the fries, also what I like about them, they're dusted with Bludso's seasoning, so it's like salty, has definitely maybe a hint of cayenne or something in there. Next up, mac and cheese. In my opinion, you cannot have Texas barbecue without having mac and cheese. Duh. Mac and cheese is the true way to my heart. I love it. I love anything pasta, anything cheese. This mac and cheese is creamy, it's cheesy. The top is a little bit burnt. It tastes so, so good, and it blends so well together with all the food that we're eating. And now we're going to be trying Bludso's rib tips. This is my first time trying a rib tip. I didn't even know what it was prior to eating this today. And what it is, it's actually the ends of the pork spare ribs. They cut them off, and they told me have a lot more fat and flavor on these instead of just the regular ribs. If I had to pick between the regular pork baby back ribs and the rib tips, I'm picking the rib tips. In my opinion, these have so much more flavor. They're even more juicy and more flavorful than the ribs. And like I said, you guys, they gave me an entire pint of barbecue sauce today. And I don't even think the meat needs it. I mean, of course, it definitely can add to it if you want a little barbecue flare up in here, but it definitely is just as good without it. So far, out of all the meat that I've tried today from Bludso's, it all has such a great meat to fat ratio. There's nothing worse than going to a barbecue restaurant and not having enough meat or not enough fat on your meat. I think you need a mixture of the both, best of both worlds, to really truly tie it all together. I'm going to give the rib tips a 9.5 out of 10 stars. And one thing that sets Bludso's apart from other places in LA, a lot of barbecue places in LA, from what I've heard, cheat the system, which is actually a sin in traditional barbecuing. And instead of smoking the meat, a lot of places will boil the meat and then grill it, which is not how Texas barbecue is done.
Hell to the no.
The way that Bludso's cooks their meat is they smoke it in a smoker for up to 14 hours. That is 2 nights of sleep, you guys. So 2 nights when you're sleeping, Bludso's is slow smoking their meat. That is truly what makes it such great Texas barbecue. And another reason that Texas barbecue is so expensive here in Los Angeles is LA has so many more regulations than a state or a county like Texas. And there's so many more rules and regulations that restaurants and smokers have to follow, which is another reason why I think it costs a lot more in LA compared to somewhere like Texas. But let's be honest, everything in LA costs more. I mean, avocado toast here is $12. It makes no sense, but that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. And if you know me, you know that your girl Zoe loves her pickles. They make them in-house every day at Bludso's. And you truly cannot have barbecue without cornbread. They have this whipped honey butter that they put on top of the cornbread to make it even better. Let's try it out. This cornbread truly exceeded my expectations. It's soft, it's moist, it's buttery on top with that warm honey butter. It's light and whipped and truly takes it to the next level. I absolutely think cornbread is a necessity when it comes to Texas barbecue. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 stars. Bledsoe's also has the option of ordering leaner brisket. We're going to be trying that dipped in their famous barbecue sauce. The brisket at Bludso's does not disappoint, whether it's fatty or lean. If I had to pick between fatty and lean brisket, I'm going to have to go with the fatty version. I just think that it has more flavor and I think it's a little bit more juicy, and I prefer a fatty kind of meat. But if anyone wants to go a little bit leaner and doesn't like as much fat on their brisket, this definitely is just as good. Bludso's brisket truly lives up to the hype. I'm going to give their lean brisket an 8 out of 10 stars. And next up, we have their Texas barbecue beef hot link. If you are into sausages or hot links, this is definitely a must try, but I have to warn you, they do call this a hot link for a reason. It is so spicy.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to catch my breath right now. They definitely have some jalapenos or some peppers in there to give it that heat and that spice, but it's tender, it's juicy. If you like sausages, try this out. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 stars. Out of everything I tried today from Bludso's, I have to say it truly exceeded my expectations. It is one of the best barbecue places in LA and you need to try it out. Drop a comment down below and let me know what your favorite barbecue is in LA or in a city near you. Do me a favor and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I have new videos every week and I'd love for you guys to keep on watching. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you guys on the next video.